Hare Krishna, everyone. Tanvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Welcome to the Bhakti community in McKinney. We'll start with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We'll start with the Pranam Mantra of Srila Prabhupada. Namah Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashata Vishatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Brajana Rangana Yashodanandana Brajana Rangana Yashodanandana Brajana Rangana
Nandana Brajana Rangana
Yashodanandana Brajana Rangana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Natira Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Giridharadhari Jaya Yashodanandana Brajana Yashodanandana Brajana Yashodanandana Brajana Brajana Rangana Yashodanandana Brajana Rangana Yashodanandana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chungi, Radha Kala Chungi Radhe. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Janata Swami, Nayana Patadami, Nayana Patadami, Bhavatumi. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Sita Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Sita Hanuman. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
सदा जननी सदा
Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की देवी भक्ति देवी की सामवेद भक्त वृंद की और प्रेमानंदे all glorious assembled devotees all glorious assembled devotees Hare Krishna all assembled devotees
Hare Krishna.
all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pradhanine Nisha Shunyavadi Pashyata Dharani. So we sing this one in the end. So this is what we sing. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. So what this means is, I offer my respectful obeisances. Obeisances, we're doing humble Dandavat. Dandavat is falling flat at the lotus feet of whom? We're falling at the feet of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Whenever it's capital, it's mentioning Krishna. Then second one is Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, unto Srila Prabhupada, O spiritual master, who is a servant of Saraswati Goswami. So this Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master was Saraswati Goswami, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then you are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Dev. And what is the message? Kindly preaching the message. Message was the Harinam Sankirtan, which we just did together, and delivering the Western countries. Srila Prabhupada was the first person from India to actually come to the West to spread the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the Sankirtan movement. That was his instruction. His guru had given him the instruction that whenever, like you go to the West and you preach. So he's kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries who are filled with impersonalism and voidism. So that's why we, in the end, we always, this is called the Pranam Mantra. We do Pranam Mantra to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is, all the books which we are reading today, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. This was all translated by Srila Prabhupada. And only through his mercy we are able to actually understand a little bit about, about Krishna. So everybody can try together. Ready? Nama Om
Namo
Om
Vishnu Padaya
Vishnupadaya
Vishnupadaya
Krishna Pristhaya
Krishna Prasthaya
Bhutale
Veshtaya
Bhutale
Bhutale
Srimati
Srimate
Bhakti Vedanta
Bhaktivedanta
Swamin
Swami
Iti Namine.
Iti Namine.
Namaste
Namaste
Saraswati Deve
Saraswati Devi
Saraswati Deva
Gaura Vani Pracharine
Gauravani Pracharine
Prachari
Nirvishesha
Nirvishesha
Shunyavadi
Punyavadi
Paschatya
Rashtra
Desha
Deshadar.
I'll put this up in the end next time also, so that way we can all sing together. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. Good to see all of you. Hare Krishna. Hope everyone's safe with all the ice and the weather this
There's
week.
no more ice.
No
There's
more
no
ice.
more ice.
Get ready for shorts next week. It's 70. Right? It's good.
70 before this.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll continue our reading today from chapter 7. And so last week, we actually went through lots of questions and answers, right? So far, what we have learned in chapter 7 is that Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and he's explaining to Arjuna about, what's he explaining? That Krishna is the essence of everything, and he's the cause of everything, right? And how are some of the ways in which we could remember Krishna? So Krishna is explaining that, he's the taste in water, right? We read he's the taste in water. Then, so everybody drinks water and we can remember Krishna. Then he also explained that he is the light of the sun and the moon, right? That he also explained that then he is the Om in the Vedic mantras. He explained that the transcendental sound which is coming in every Vedic hymn, that Om is actually Krishna, right? Then he also explained he is the sound of ether. He explained he is the ability of man, right? Then he explained that he is the original fragrance of earth. He is the heat of the fire. He is the life of all the lives. He is the penances of all the ascetics, right? Then today we are going to read, so 10 and 11 concludes that section of explaining all the different, that Krishna is the cause of all these, is the essence and the cause of everything within the modes of material nature. So today we'll continue our reading from 10 and 11, and then from 12 onwards, then Krishna then starts to explain that he is not within the three modes, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and ignorance. However, he is the origin of all the modes, and therefore he is nirguna. Okay, so that will start from text number 12 onwards. So I will read text 10 today, and we have Pranav here. So would you like to sing the Sanskrit, Pranav? And we can have Vishal. Would you like to read the translation and purport? So we'll start with Pranav and go to Vishal.
Okay. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam
Bijam mama sarva bhutanam
vidhi partha sanatanam
vidhi
Vidhi Partha
partha
Sanatanam
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमताम् अस्मि
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमताम्
बुद्धिमताम्
अस्मि
अस्मि
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
तेजस्
तेजस्
Tejas
तेजस्विनामहम्.
Okay, go ahead, Vishal.
O son of Partha, I know that I'm the original seed of all existences and the intelligent and the prowess of all powerful men. Bija means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert beads, birds, beasts, and men, and many other living creatures are moving and living entities, trees and plants. However, they are inert. They cannot move but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of life is Krishna. As they
So let's pause here for a minute. So, first thing, what Srila Prabhupada is explaining, what Krishna explained here is that he is the original seed. From him, everybody is existing, right? That is the first point. And how Srila Prabhupada is explaining that, Bijam means seed, right? So if you go to the translation, to the Sanskrit, here it says Bijam. Bijam Mama Sarva Bhutanam. Bijam is the seed, right? Seed is me. That's what Krishna is saying, me, Mam. And then he's explaining, if you look around, we see living entities, right? Living entities are moving and inert. So moving entities are birds, we have animals, we have men, we have other living creatures. And then we also have living creatures like trees and plants, right? They are also living, but they cannot move. So they are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. So every entity, so we are the Jiva soul, every entity has a particular type of body. And the body we get is based on, who knows, what kind of body do we get? So at the time of death, what we remember, what we desire, that is the body we get in our next life, right? So in all these cases, what Krishna is saying, that the seed of their life is Krishna. This is the main thing which we have to remember, that the seed of life in every living entity is Krishna. Okay, let's continue, Vishal.
It started in Vedic literature. Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, that is from which everything is emanating Krishna, which is
What does
Brahman.
what does emanating mean? Emanating is, which is coming from a source, right? So what is, everything is emanating from
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, that is what Krishna is explaining here. Okay, Krishna is
Parabrahman.
Parabrahman.
The supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal and Parabrahman is personal.
Brahman. Yamuna.
Parabrahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect that is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of the tree maintains in the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation.
Okay, let's stop
This
here.
is also confirmed in the Vedic literature.
Yeah, so we'll stop here for a minute. So here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. So when you have a plant, who has been a gardener? With show of hands, who has ever gardened before? So we have Bhakti Priya Mataji, Lalita Mataji, Pranav and Sai Prabhu. We have Lalita there. I see your hand. I see Renuka Mataji, Vasudha Mataji. Oh yeah, she has a garden. I remember. Vasudha Mataji has a garden in the backyard. Okay, so when you have plants, right, and you are taking care of a plant, how do you water each leaf? No, we water the root, correct? So what happens when you water the root, Vishal?
When you water the leaves, you basically just water the leaves. The very leaf you water, that's the only leaf that gets nutrients from the water. But the root has connection to all of the leaves, so it's much recommended to put the water to the root. And
Beautiful.
that's an
Yes.
example.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Vishal. So the same way, like how we just have to water the root of a tree or a plant and the whole plant gets nourished. Same way, Krishna, he is the root of everything. He's the source of everything. So what does that tell us? Whom do we need to keep in the center of everything we do? Root, Krishna. So whatever you're doing, if you're cooking some food, right, you cook it with the intention that you are doing it as a service for Krishna. If you're studying well, if you're brushing your teeth, if you're taking care of your body, you're showering, you still say that today I'm doing this because I want to clean my body. The body is the temple of Krishna because Krishna is present in my body, right? Wherever Krishna is present, that is a temple, and we have to take care of that temple. So in this consciousness, if you are studying, if you're cooking, if you're cleaning, if you're interacting with somebody, right, Krishna is present in their heart as well. Then in whatever we do, we are keeping Krishna in the center, right? We don't have to change our activity. We just have to change the consciousness in which we do our activity. That is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that you have to leave your responsibilities and go to a forest or an ashram and then sit there. No. Arjuna had to fight the battle before Bhagavad Gita, and he again fought the battle after Bhagavad Gita. So our main intention is, that's why it is called Krishna consciousness. We're just changing our consciousness in which we do our activity. So if we can keep Krishna as the root of everything, just like how the root is maintaining the entire tree, when we serve Krishna, automatically everything else, all our material desires, whatever desires we have, everything gets fulfilled. So for an example, if a child is trying very hard to do something, right, and they're trying it on their own, it's going to be very difficult for them. But if they go to their parents and say that, can you help me? I'm trying to do this. Can you please help me? Or let us say they are very hungry, but first they go to their mother or father and say, first you take. Like immediately our heart gets melted, right? So that is the point, that when same way, like how we feel when our kids do something for us, same way Krishna also gets very indebted when we do something for him out of love. Okay. So then Srila Prabhupada saying is this point is confirmed in this Vedic literature, which is the Katha Upanishad, which says Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. Okay, what does this say, Vishal?
Eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities. He alone is maintaining
Your voice, you might have to come a little closer to the mic.
One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna.
This is an important point, right? So here it says, unless a person is intelligent, we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the statement right before that says, Krishna is the root of all intelligence. So we can only understand Krishna through Krishna's mercy, right? Or through a devotee's mercy. So that is important point. Okay, Bhakti Priya Mataji, would you like to add something?
No, Prabhuji, you can move on.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
No.
Yes, Sai Prabhu.
So basically what I understood here is, as stated in Vedic literature, there's a popular word in Vedic literature, the Aham Brahmasmi, that means Sarvam Parabrahmamayam. So Krishna is everything basically. So when we say Krishna is everything, we don't understand because we are logical people. So, and again, Krishna explaining each and everything, he's in everything, and he's giving all kinds of examples and saying, I'm here and there, I'm here in the taste, I'm in the fragrance, I'm in Parabrahman, I'm in everything he's explaining in this chapter. That's what I understood.
Nice. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. And Vishal, did you have a question? Okay, can you come a little closer? We cannot hear you.
So I have two questions. The first one is the term men used for humans?
Yeah. So here, wherever we read men or man, Srila Prabhupada means all of us, men and women, and it is humans, yeah.
And the second question is, there are other traditions other than the Indian tradition, and there are also gods for that tradition, and they have like books about that, like Krishna. So including all of that, is Krishna still God of everything?
Nice question. And Vasudha Mataji had asked this few classes back, right? So one thing is, we know God is one, right? And there are different paths to reach God, right? And each path might have, some paths might be short, some paths might be long, right? Now, Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that we want to say that their path is wrong. That is not what Krishna consciousness says. Krishna consciousness says that we have to love God. That is the essence of Krishna consciousness, that we want to love God. If somebody is following the rules and regulations of whatever they are following, and they're able to develop love for God, then that's okay. And Srila Prabhupada says in multiple places in his books that if somebody is able to come to the point of loving God, then that is okay. We don't want to say that, this path is better than that path. That is not our intention at all. Now, our philosophy or our scriptures, what we have got, right? Like Srimad Bhagavatam, for instance, that goes into details of who is God, what is his name, where does he live, who are his parents, who are his friends, what are his pastimes. So we are able to then personally connect with God, right? If you want to love somebody, if you want to have a connection with somebody, you want to know who is this person, right? Where do they live? What do they like to eat? What fun activities do they do, right? So when we follow this Vedic tradition, we are able to actually realize, oh, okay, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like, for example, here, right, in the Katha Upanishad, that is saying here that he is the supreme living entity of all living entities, right? And in verses above that, it's talking that it is Krishna. So the point is that we have to come to the point of loving God. And we are able to love God when we know who this person is, right? Like when you say that, oh, you need to love your mom, right? But if you don't know what's her name, what does she like to eat, what does she like to, do some fun activity, you're not able to get that relationship, right? So that is the point. So every path is okay. And we want to encourage everybody on whatever path they are, that you have to come to the point of loving God. Does that help, Vishal?
Got
Okay.
it.
Okay, I see a new face. We see Shashi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the group.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Could you please introduce yourself, Mataji?
Yes, I'm mother of Abhinav Gupta from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, India.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare
Welcome.
Krishna,
Thank
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
you so much for joining so early. We're very fortunate to have your association.
ये तो हमारी हमारी सौभाग्य है कि हम ज्वाइन कर सके आप सबको.
हरे कृष्णा माताजी.
हरे कृष्णा.
और माताजी, आपको अगर कोई भी क्वेश्चंस हैं, आप प्लीज आस्क अस, एंड देन जो हमको थोड़ा सा समझ में आया, हम थोड़ा बता पाएंगे फिर.
जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. और आपको सुन के अभी तक हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा है और बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं इस बात के लिए बड़ा ही अपने आप को सौभाग्यशाली मान रही हूँ कि मेरी बेटी ने मुझे फोन किया, उसने कहा माँ आज को ज्वाइन कर लो, तो मुझे लगा कि शायद ईश्वर ने बहुत बड़ी कृपा मेरे ऊपर की है और आज मैं आप सबके साक्षात दर्शन कर पा रही हूँ.
हरे कृष्णा.
Shame.
और
I know. You know that. I don't know that.
आप जो कुछ भी बोल रहे हैं मुझे सुन के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
हरे कृष्णा माताजी. सो माताजी, अभी हम 7th चैप्टर पे हैं भगवत गीता के, और अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा है इज बेसिकली Arjun has come in the middle of the battlefield and he has asked Krishna that please tell me कौन है यहाँ पर, who am I going to fight against. And after seeing all his grandfather, brothers, sister, uncles, teachers, his Gandiva was slipping. So in our lives also, there are so many instances where we come to this point that there are difficulties in our life, right? So when we read the Bhagavad Gita, we should read it in such a way that Krishna is actually explaining this Bhagavad Gita for us. So whenever he says, oh Arjuna, we should put our name in there. Oh, Nemi Sharanya Das, this is what Krishna is explaining. So first Krishna has now explained about the different ladders. So he spoke about Karma Yoga. He spoke about Jnana Yoga. Then he came to Dhyana Yoga. And then all of this, Arjuna said, that's very difficult, Krishna. Like, I'm not able to do Dhyan. Like, it's so difficult to control our mind. So please tell me, what should I do? So then Krishna comes to 7th chapter. And 7th chapter, he's explaining how we can remember Krishna in so many different ways. So he explains, we all drink water every day. So Krishna is actually the taste of water. When you look at the sun and the moon, he is the light in sun and moon. Then he explains this point, right? About the seed. Like, just imagine, if you plant a seed, you get a tree. From the tree, you get fruits. Each fruit has a seed. Again, from one seed, you'll get a full tree. Who can do this packaging? Nobody can do this kind of packaging, right? Only Krishna can do it. So that's where we are at. So now we'll go to the next verse. Okay, verse number 11. And let us have, again, Pranav, you can do the Sanskrit. And we can have Lalita. Would you like to read the translation and purport?
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
Pranav.
Balam balavatam chaham.
Balam
Balam
Bhagavatam Chaham
Kamaraga vivajjitam.
Kamaraga
Vivarjitam
Dharma viruddho bhuteshu.
Dharma
Viruddho Bhutesho
Kamosmi bharatarshava.
Kamo Asmi
Bharatarsabha.
Okay.
Translation.
Lalita.
Okay. I am the strength of the strong devote of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas.
Okay, so this is the last point. Now Krishna is explaining about how, he is the essence of everything. Okay, let's read the purport.
Should I read it?
Yes, please.
Okay. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life, according to religious principle, dharma, should be for the propagation of children, not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offspring Krishna conscious.
Yeah. So this is also a very important point. So here, Krishna is then explaining that he is the strength of the strong. Like, this doesn't mean that if somebody is strong, that they are using this for personal aggression, right? Instead, we should be able to protect the weak. So this is also like Krishna has given you this ability to be strong, right? So we should always try to protect the weak. Similarly, sex life is, basically when we are trying to propagate children, right? And Lord Brahma, he had this instruction from Krishna that please progenate the entire material universe. So one of the 4 principles of Krishna consciousness, which we try to follow, is no meat eating, right? Why do we not eat meat? Because Krishna just explained in the last verse that everything has life, right? So no meat eating, no intoxication, which is intoxication could be drugs, alcohol. So we don't do any intoxication. Third, no gambling, right? In Mahabharata, we see what all happened when they did gambling, right? They lost the entire kingdom, right? And the 4th thing which we follow is no illicit sex. So Krishna is not saying here that sex is not good. However, what he's saying is sex in marriage, when it is used for propagating children who are Krishna conscious, then That is actually, that is what is according to the religious principles. So this is very, very important point. And that's why we try to follow these 4 regulative principles. No intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, and 4th is no illicit sex. So sex within the marriage for propagating Krishna conscious children is what we follow. Okay. Any questions on that? Yes, Adya.
Oh, I was just my hand, so if I could read this one.
Okay, yeah, you can read this one. So we'll have Pranav. Again, you can do the Sanskrit and Adya you can read.
ये चैव सात्विका भावा
Ye chaiva satvika bhava
राजसास्तामसाश्च ये
Rajasastamasaschaye
मत्त एवेति तां विद्धि
Matta
नत्वाहं तेषु ते मयि
Nadva
Aham teshu te mahi.
Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me.
Yeah. So here now we are coming to the next section. So first section till now, Krishna explained all the different places you can actually see Krishna or you can feel Krishna. Then he's saying, but remember, all these 3 modes, passion, ignorance, and goodness, passion, and ignorance, are actually coming from Krishna's energy. That is one. He is independent of these 3 modes of material nature. And remember that they are actually within Krishna. So, okay, so we'll read the purport now.
All material activities in the world are being conducted under the 3 modes of material nature. Although these material modes of nature are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is not subject to them. For instance, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are emanations from the Supreme God, Krishna. But Krishna is not subject to material nature. Therefore, he is nirguna, which means that these gunas or modes, although issuing from him, do not affect him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagavan, or the supreme personality of Godhead.
So, Adya, can you share something which you understood from this reading?
I think that this means that goodness, passion, and ignorance does not affect him, even though he is the source. Okay.
Yeah. Even though this is actually coming from him, still he is not affected. So, what do you think is mode of goodness? Actually, let's go to Bhakti Priya Mataji. Mataji, can you please share these 3 modes with some examples?
So the 3 modes are, what is a good example
for the 3 modes actually.
Let me start. Hare Krishna, everyone. So the 3 modes are mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So when early morning during Brahma Muhurta time, if we get up and do chanting or do some, at that time we will be most of the time in the mode of goodness. So that's why it is recommended to do early morning seva for God and do spiritual activities that time, because the mode of goodness influence is more at that time. From 9 o'clock onwards to, I think, until it gets dark, we will be in the mode of passion, rajoguna, So, and from when the sky falls, like when it is dark, until the morning, we will be in the mode of ignorance. So influence of these modes on us will be, that particular mode will be influencing us during those timings, during the day. I mean, that's how it is. There are like so many, like the modes of goodness. I mean, the 3 modes are influencing so many things actually. So if somebody is like if they are intoxicated, like if they are doing drugs or drinking or smoking or all kinds of adharma activities, they are in mode of ignorance, because they have the knowledge but they chose to do the wrong thing, right? So it's mode of ignorance. And passion means business. If somebody is like very into in business and or like, I mean, toppers, right? Students, sometimes they are very in the mode of passion, they want to beat the other person and win. So it's more like that mode of attitude is like in passion. So I mean, the mode of goodness is more like how to explain, like spiritual activities, pious. If we are like pious, like some people are like they want to help other people, that's one thing. That's also mode of goodness and things like that.
Thank you, Mataji. So I have a question. So let us say, so mode of passion is like somebody studying really hard, right? So are we saying that they should not study hard?
I mean, we should study, but then we should not forget the essence of the study, right? I mean,
We shouldn't lose ourselves in our studies. Basically,
Let
we
her
should
talk.
No, I like have something to say. So with studies,
Raise your
I
hand.
know. May I talk, Babaji?
Nanika, please.
Let us see if Mataji, did you finish your thought?
So yeah, so that my thought is like, if somebody is studying, it's good, but it should not be like too competitive to other, like should not be intimidating to other people, right? If they are intimidating the other people, then it causes pressure on the other person also. Like, I mean, they can study, but they should still be in the mode of goodness.
So you're studying for the sake of studying, and you're doing all the efforts you can before your test or exam, and then you're just going with that mode of goodness, that whatever I have tried my best, I'm going to do my best in the exam. Not that I'm doing it to actually defeat that other person.
The other person, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, yes, Priyanka.
Oh yeah. So essentially, especially as like a student right now, I think we can all kind of try and find it a little bit hard to see, try not to put like our passions at the forefront of our interests, if that's what makes sense, right? As for Krishna consciousness, especially utilizing it within our daily lives, it's really just a matter of trying to find that balance in the material like life that we have right now, that we've been living with so far, and trying to implement Krishna consciousness within that, like trying to make that our primary interest. Like for example, with Amma, with her studies, it's easy to lose yourself within the heat of the competition, or like within all the rage of trying to be the best and things like that. However, once we start to realize like those things are actually like really not as meaningful to our life than we think it is, then I think we start to find that understanding in Krishna consciousness and like that whole priority that we must give to it.
Nice. Yeah.
So one more point to add here, because we are in these bodies in the material world, we will have some contamination. We are not completely pure yet, but we are practicing devotees, right? We want to become pure at some point in our life. Maharaj says, my Guru Maharaj says, service in passion is not recommended. We should do service in goodness, because sometimes, right, book distribution or other things, sometimes people are very passionate about what they are doing, and they do it in passion. But we try to come down, bring ourselves down to goodness, and then, because it's very very important to serve in the mode of goodness. There is service in all three modes. There is different kinds of foods in all three modes. Like there are like foods in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, food in the mode of ignorance. Like this mode of goodness, these three modes are in everywhere. Like if we look at it, right, it's there everywhere. But we should bring ourselves to the mode of goodness too, because from the platform of mode of goodness only we can go to the transcend to the perfect the pure goodness.
Shuddha sattva, yeah.
So that's the basis of Krishna. I think that's where we have to get there to transcend. If we don't come to mode of goodness, then it's going to be hard to get to the next level.
Thank you. Yes, Mataji. Did you have a question, Nainika?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is there like any other kind of good mode besides the mode of goodness?
Yes. So basically, yeah. So basically, in the material world, there are three modes: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And all of us, we go between all these modes, right, throughout the day. Like how Mataji was saying, early in the morning, if you wake up, you're usually in the mode of goodness, unless you take your phone and you start looking at phone and WhatsApp and Facebook, Instagram, then you're immediately transferred emails, you're immediately transferred into a different mode. So it's very important in the morning when you wake up that you're in the mode of goodness. So the main point is we want to transcend all these three modes. We don't want to even be in the mode of goodness. We want to actually come to transcendental goodness. And the point which Mataji was making, the last point, was we can only come to transcendental goodness from the platform of mode of goodness. If you're in the mode of passion or ignorance, that transcendental goodness is locked. You cannot even go in. You cannot enter the transcendental mode. So to come to the point of transcendence, you have to come to the mode of goodness. And how can you come to this mode of goodness? By having a regulated life. You sleep on time, you wake up on time, you are surrounding yourself with friends who are like-minded, right? Who have the same mode of goodness qualities. You're eating mode of goodness food, right? You're seeing mode of goodness activities. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have not heard from few devotees today. So we'll first go to Renuka Mataji and Adnan Prabhu, and then we'll go to Manya's mom. Okay, please share anything from today's discussion. We'll start with Renuka Mataji first.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Hare Krishna, everyone. Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, Krishna is the source of everything, and he is the root of everything. Everything emanates from him. Even though there are three modes, but he is Nirgun. He is not in any of those modes. So, as you explained, like, because he is in everything, then we should not do meat eating or anything which is not legit in the Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
always try to involve him more and more in our lives, and try to centralize their communication, everything, all our activities around Krishna. So basically include him.
Nice. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Abhinav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. If I had to take one thing from today's session, it would be to put Krishna in the center of everything that you do, be it your work, your personal life, or be it anything that you think about or aspire to do or are actually doing. Think about how you can serve Krishna while doing or thinking about it.
Yeah. And even interaction with others, whoever you interact with, remembering that actually Krishna is present in them, right? So even when you interact with others, when we are in that mode of goodness, again, we are coming to that mode of goodness that, whatever this person says, we want to tolerate. We want to have boundaries, right? No, but we don't want to be a doormat, but at the same time, we are, tolerating and moving forward. So thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Mania's mom. Sorry, Mataji, I've forgotten your name.
Sarita.
Sarita Mataji.
Sarita Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, my takeaway will be like 3 modes, like to get the consciousness of Krishna, like goodness and passion and ignorance. So I try to reduce my passion and ignorance time period with the goodness and transcendental goodness.
Nice. Thank you, Mataji. And Vasudha Mataji spoke a little bit, but we want to hear some more from you.
Very next to each other, so that's why we muted one and try to talk. Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what I'm trying to understand is still I'm trying to understand a lot from this. There are 3, actually these are 3 gunas, right? What is goodness, ignorance, and
Passion and ignorance.
Passion and ignorance. As Krishna says, he is nirgun. We also should not be attached to any of this gun, is what I'm thinking. I feel like I'm a good person. That also makes something over a period of time. It will be like, hey, I'm good person. I don't think so. This is also we should be in that mode. What I'm thinking is like we try to be above all. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking is like that is also one gun, right? Being goodness is one gun. Being passionate is one gun. Being ignorant is another gun. So all these guns we may not need to be into adapting to that. Like we should be like ignorant, not ignorant. What should I say? Like we may need not be in.
Yeah.
Versus that, then we feel like we are really Krishna conscious, like being detached and not stick to anything. Maybe if you feel like I'm good, maybe that also may you may not be able to reach Krishna if you are in that conscious, is what I'm thinking. But again, I just feel like this being goodness is is, if you consider it as a Daiva gun, being passionate is like Manava gun, or being ignorant is Rakshas gun. That actually symbolizes morning is a Brahma Muhurta, or whatever is actually that is a Daiva gun, something like that. Night symbolizes something is black, which is like ignorance and all. It's like a Rakshasa gun. So whatever is daytime is like whatever is passion. Every human being will be in some passionate mode. Either you shouldn't be Rakshas or Dev or Manav. Ignore everything or forget everything and don't indulge in anything is what lead to Krishna consciousness, is what I'm thinking. Because sometimes I feel like I'm very good. I want it to be good. That also makes you, to do something. Oh, I have to do something good. So that is also something you are trying to do. Ignoring maybe God. That's what my takeaway. I'm always like, I'm every day I will listen, but I will always think like and maybe I'm not understanding fully, because the entire Bhagavad Gita says it's all about Krishna. Krishna is everything, but every day we listen and we again forget, right?
That's right. Yes, Mataji. It's very, very good, very valid point. Very valid point. And if you notice, everything which we read, every verse which we read, Krishna is coming to this point only. That connect everything to Krishna. That is the point. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam also, it's coming to this point. But the problem is we forget. Like you're saying, we forget. We read for 1 hour, we read. As soon as we finish, we're like, okay, what's next? You know, okay, what am I watching? What am I eating? You know, that is our problem. But that's okay. Still, we are taking 1 hour of our time to actually coming together. That is the start. That is the start. You know, and slowly, as we keep doing this every day, then automatically one day, you know, we will start enjoying this. We will get a higher taste. Like right now, our taste is a little bit mixed, right? Because see, Friday night, there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of different things Friday night, because that is their taste. But still, we have taken 1 hour and we've come together, right? So we are slowly developing our taste to do this. So yeah, very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And what I'm thinking, Bhakti Priya Mataji, I need a little help from you. For next class, why don't we actually show the devotees how we can offer bhoga to Krishna the correct way? Can you and the girls try to do that for next class? With the prayers as well. You know, like what prayers, what is the right etiquette? Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji, I can try.
Yeah. So what we can do is we can have a little bit bhoga. So what I'm thinking is we'll show you how we can make Krishna's plate, how we actually offer tulsi leaf. Krishna accepts everything with tulsi leaf. And then there are mantras which we read to offer to Krishna. And we all eat. Every day we eat, right? So this practice we can start doing slowly in our life. Automatically it will become, you know, we are coming to that transcendental mode. It becomes devotional service. Okay. I saw a hand from somebody. Lalita, did you have a question?
Yeah, no, it's not a question. I just wanted to share what I learned today.
Yeah.
So what I learned is that Krishna is like the seed of life, and like we should like take care of our body and like become devoted because Krishna is like present in us.
Yeah, that's nice point, right? Like even when you wake up and you brush your teeth, you exercise, you eat healthy, you sleep, right? Everything we have to do, we have to take care of ourselves, right? Self love and self care is very important. And why we do that? Again, you can connect that to Krishna because Krishna is present in you. So you have to take care of your body.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us all sing the Narsingha Arati. We'll stop here. Okay. Is everyone ready? Okay. We'll all sing together. Namaste Narasingha. Yato yam tato narsimha Narasimha madhusharanam papade Kapara kamalavale natham Adbhuta sringam Galita Hiranyakashipu Yano Bringam Keshavadika Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare केशवगीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय महाराज की जय पिता गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल So tomorrow is Ekadashi. So tomorrow is Vijaya Ekadashi, and on Ekadashi day, usually, if you're able to, you should not have grains, pulses and grains. Okay, so rice, wheat, any of your grains we should not have. Instead, you can have Ekadashi prasadam. If you cannot fast, Ekadashi prasadam is okay. Again, I'm going to look to Bhakti Priya Mataji. If you can share some good recipes for everybody on the group, which everybody can follow, that'll be nice.
You should send the lettuce wrap recipe. It's really cool.
Yes, Prabhuji, sure.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. Have a nice weekend. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.